Oh, and I'm live. Let's let the class know. An email. Share. Hello. I'm just sharing the link. And there we go. Please excuse the spots on my face, but welcome to real life. I've even got dressed up for you today, as in I've not got some comfies on. I bought a new whiteboard so I can draw things so you can see. This is when she finds out her name. So we'll just wait for a few people to join and then I will start. Oh God, that's made it worse. So obviously, as the title suggests, we're going to do the Berlin Airlift today. This is potentially my favourite lesson to teach, so I'm a little bit gutted that I'm having to do it online. Hi, Sam. I want to apologise for Wednesday. I actually couldn't even see straight when I set you the work. I had such a bad migraine. It was awful. So, yeah. I do apologise about that, but I could barely see, let alone teach you. So it was a case of set some work, hope for the best. And it was only yesterday that I really started to feel a bit better. So I'm back again. Yes, it is. Thank you, Sam. So much better because it was pretty horrendous. Right. It's now been live for nearly 3 minutes. 8 people are here, so I'm going to start in a second. Get myself comfy on my swinging chair. I've even got really professional today, is that my sister has a ring light for her makeup channel and for her Instagram and her beauty treatments. So I'm using the ring light. So I'm really proper YouTuber today. Right then, let's start with the Berlin Airlift. Now, with this particular thing that we are going to look at today, it can be a little bit tricky in that the textbook calls it the Berlin Crisis, 1948 to 49, which means that then when they examine you, they will say the Berlin Crisis to trip you up. And there are 3 flashpoints with Berlin. So Berlin doesn't just come up once in your Cold War course. It comes up 3 times. And it is they're all quite similar in that it is obviously East versus West and Berlin. But there are different details that will help you decipher what is going on. Now, 2 years ago, the Berlin Wall came up. Obviously, we haven't done that yet. Yeah, and they said the Berlin Wall coming down, the Berlin Crisis of 1989. Now, that confused a lot of students, and they wrote about this. Last year, they talked about the refugee crisis when the Berlin Wall goes up. So they will try and use language to try and trip you up. So it's really important that when you are revising this, when we go over this, when we get back into school, that kind of thing. Summer, you're not late, don't panic. You really need to look at your dates. So for this one, the Berlin Crisis is 1948 to 49. Okay. Now, it all starts with, we've had, to go a quick recap, World War II, USA, USSR, and the UK joined together and become the Grand Alliance to defeat Germany. Now, that's all hunky-dory at the Tehran conference, where they, sorry, I'm like talking really weird because this side of my face is numb because I've got like ulcers here. They joined together to defeat Germany, and they are friends, they are working together, they have a common enemy, and they are willing to put aside the differences that they have in order to defeat the Nazis. This then comes up again in Yalta, where they realize, yes, they are beginning to win, things are beginning to take a turn for the better, and they then start to begin to fight about little things, but they agree that they are not going to deal with it until their common enemy is completely defeated. Then we go to Potsdam. I realize I'm talking really fast, but then we go to Potsdam, where we have a change in leadership in the USA because Franklin D. Roosevelt dies and is replaced by the anti-communist Harry Truman. And Winston Churchill is replaced by Clement Attlee because he loses the election for the UK. This then leads to a lot of tension because Truman reveals that he has been testing the atomic bomb. Clement Attlee's like, with the greatest respect, my country has just been deeply affected by World War II. We have an empire that is falling apart. I need to sort my own country out. You lot can deal with it. And the UK sort of take a back seat and then start going from being one of the big players, like one of the main world players, to a secondary world player at this point. And we've got tension then between Truman and between Stalin. That's then made worse by the long telegram and the Novikov telegram, with each of the ambassadors in the opposite country saying, oh, well, they are not going to do what they say they're going to do, and actually they're a real threat, which amps up the tension. Churchill then decides he's going to add a little bit of, how do they do it on the meme? I think a little bit of his salt into the wound, and gives a speech in the Fulton, Missouri, in the US, to Truman and his dignitaries, that an iron curtain has descended over Europe, and hypes up the tension. Pure salt, yes. This then leads to the Truman Doctrine, which we looked at last Friday, which effectively is containing the communism. Shan, don't worry, I'm just doing a recap. You've not missed anything new. And yes, my migraine is a lot better. Thank you so much. The Truman Doctrine is containing communism, basically not allowing it to spread any further, with Marshall Aid being the finance to back that up. As a direct result for Wednesday's lesson, we've got Cominform, which is effectively containing capitalism, so the USSR version of the Truman Doctrine, and then Comicon, which is the economic side of Cominform. Boom. That is the picture so far. I hope these recaps help just to kind of bring you up to speed if you're struggling at all. And I think it's just worth it just to do it each time, kind of the story so far. Right, we're then going to move on to the Berlin, which is divided into 4. Now I'm going to go, no, my connection is unstable. Okay, that's better. Right, here we go. I just dropped my book. Excellent. It's a good job I don't need it because I love this topic. Right, here we go. This is where my swingy chair is not the one. Let me get Berlin for you. It's going to be a very detailed drawing. Okay, I need to actually turn it right way up so I can write. I just spelled France wrong. Yeah, very detailed. Yeah, it is actually, thanks. Ooh, there we go. There's my very detailed drawing. So, you can see my ring light, sorry. You've got, this is Berlin. It is divided into 4. You've got USA, UK, France, and USSR. Thank you for giving me a grade 9 on my artwork. I know I'm intimidating for you all, but it's just one of those things. And obviously, this is how Germany was divided as well. Now, if we're looking at this as Germany initially. Oh, hello, Fletcher. And let's put Berlin as a B here. If we were in school, you would have been drawing this, so it makes some thanks there. Right, so this is Germany, and we've got the USA, the UK, and France and the USSR all have sections of Germany. So we've got the East. Oh, East has got the USSR, and then the West is our 3 different countries here. Now, let me just turn this slightly. Oh no, wow, that was a really attractive angle of myself. Push it back a little bit. There we go. Hello, Fletcher. I know you don't feel very well, Bubba, but you stay there. Now, they agreed that they would talk with Germany, that if anything needs to be changed in Germany, they would have to talk to one another, and that they wouldn't make any drastic changes if it needed to be done. Now, the USA and the UK we're really good mates. We're still good mates. We've got a special relationship. That's what it's called. But they start talking and say, we're running our sections in a very similar way. Why don't we just merge them? So they do. And we then got Germany's now divided into 3. Now, this is quite a special word. Now, if you are looking for your grade 6s and above, you will need to know this. When the USA and the UK merge, they do something called bizonia. Okay. Now, bizonia literally means 2 zones merged together. It's just a very posh word for it. All right. Fletch, it's okay, sweetheart. Good boy. So they bizonia, which is really good. Great. Fantastic. So they are. What's that light? Looks. It's my ring light so that you can actually see me. All right, buddy. All right. Just wait there for 2 minutes. My dog is desperate to get up. Sorry. So they don't tell the USA. And the USA is like the USSR. And he's like, hang on a minute. You were meant to tell me if you were deciding to do anything like this. Why haven't you told me? And the USA and the UK are like, oh, okay. 1 second. Bear with me. Come here. My doggy is not very well at the moment, so he is desperate to be with me at all times. So you sit there like a good boy. Good boy. There we go. I dare you to kick your dog. No, he's poorly. Right, there we go. Now that Fletcher's happy, we can carry on. So this causes a lot of tension between the USA and the USSR because they haven't told each other that they were merging the zones. Now, the US and the UK and France recognise that Germany has been, it's been absolutely obliterated by the Nazis. The Nazis have created a whole, as we know from our studies, have created a whole new economy. It's all very, the structure of education is all Nazified. The textbooks are Nazified. You've then got policies for women, for children, for men, for the whole life in Germany is Nazified, and Germany needs to be completely rebuilt and restructured. And one of the major things of that is the economy. Excuse me. Now, when this happens, Vic, stop. When this then happens, they set up free elections. So we've got free elections going on in here, and the USSR are like, no, I'm not doing free elections. That's not going to happen. That's not my gig. That will mean that people that don't want me to control the country are not going to vote for me. So you can have a free election, but all of the people that are going to be up for election are communists. So you basically can vote for a communist, or a different communist. Now, they then decide, actually, that France want to get in on the act here, and they say, we're going to merge as well. So we'll have West Germany and East Germany. So when the USA, the UK, and France then merge their zones, it turns into trizonia. So trizonia is, this is why I need lines on my board. Trizonia effectively then creates, this is very difficult, West Germany, okay? So yes, it is like Germany, Pac-Man. So you've got West Germany and East Germany, and there is a clear divide. Now, Stalin is not happy about this because once again, the West have not told him that this was going to happen. They've not said that they were going to merge. And actually now he feels like they are ganging up on him, which, to be fair, you can understand to a certain extent that you've now got a Western zone and an Eastern zone with two different opposing ideologies. Remembering then that Berlin here is now I've got it to B. Oh. Divided into two, so you can't really see it, but the one side is communist, one side is capitalist. So Berlin looks exactly the same as Germany. Right, Summer and Vic. Vic, if you hadn't told my dog to be kicked down the stairs, you might have understood. So what it is that the West has merged their zones together to create West Germany or Trizonia, and now have a Western capitalist side of Germany. Whereas the USSR have got their zone, they've not merged, they're keeping it as it is, and they are Eastern Germany and they are communist. And that is the same for Berlin, which is in the Eastern zone. You've got to remember that. Berlin is in the USSR zone and it is split into four, just like that. Let me draw that for you. Here we go. And I'll even label it because I'm a legend. There we go. Da-da-da. So the final straw then is we've got West Germany, East Germany, West Berlin, East Berlin. East run by the USSR, the West run by the UK, USA, and France. Now, this has all happened without them telling Stalin, and you've got to remember that Stalin is not involved in any of this. So Stalin is really paranoid. He is really concerned that the West are going to take over. And there is one final straw. The straw that breaks the camel's back is this. Why was I thinking like it? Is the Western powers introduce a new currency. All right. They introduce a new currency without telling the USSR, and that then means that Germany are now operating as effectively two separate countries. It effectively divides Germany permanently into two. No, there are no actual real borders or anything, but it is that distinct. If you are going to the UK, USA, and French zone, you have to use this new currency. But if you go into the USSR zone, you've got to use a different currency. And that then makes Stalin blow his top. He is fuming. Okay, he is not impressed with what the West have just done. The whole idea of the Grand Alliance was that they would share ideas, that they would not mess around with each other, that they would then really tell each other and have this open communication. However, it's quite clear that the West have not stuck to this, and Stalin then believes that they can't be trusted. So he's now got a perfect little island of capitalism in his communist zone. Okay, and that is really quite inconvenient People in Eastern Germany and specifically Eastern Berlin can see the West. They can see the West right on their doorstep. They can see that, martial aid is being pumped into West Berlin. So in West Berlin, they've got lovely cars and they've got nice clothes like Levi jeans. Levi jeans was one of the major brands that people wanted. They have fridges and microwaves and all this new technology that they don't have in East Berlin or East Germany. And actually, they want it. And it is a real pain in Stalin's neck that there's this new currency. They now have a merged set of zones. And actually, it's this capitalist utopia, this major thing, this major advert for capitalism in his back garden. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That's not cool. Stalin is not happy with that. That is something that is really quite unacceptable. Sorry, Fetch. Oh, I need that. Don't do that. Bear with me 1 second. The work's due on by Wednesday, please. All of this week's work by Wednesday. Enough. Oh, it's reconnecting me. There we go. There we go. I'm back. And he decides that, right, you can't be bothered to tell me what is going on. You can't be bothered to inform me with your changes. And actually, your little capitalist utopia in my zone is really quite inconvenient. So I'm going to do this. Move it to this side. And my little arms will do it. There we go. So, Stalin blocks off every road, every railway, every canal to West Berlin. And he decides that he's going to starve the people of West Berlin and he is going to get them to submit and beg Stalin for him to be their new leader, to rule them. He is going to make them change their mind of who they want to rule. And actually, this is quite a bit of a declaration of war almost. This is where Stalin's like, right then, I've blocked you all off. I've made it really difficult for you to get into West Berlin. What's your next move? What are you doing next? Go on, do something. And the West know that they can't drive their tanks in. They can't do that because that'll start another war. And that is something they don't want to do. But Stalin has made a slight error, my poor babe. He has made a slight error. It's that he has not touched one other mode of transport. Right. Uh-oh. Doing this. Oh, no. Oh, no. There we go. I'm back. They end up doing this at the height or the peak. One plane is landing every 3 minutes.